For latest astrology videos, subscribe AstroEdify channel and press this bell icon to get notified when a new video goes live. Hello everybody, welcome to AstroEdify. Today we are going to discuss about the basic parameters which are used to judge the horoscope at first. So the parameters which we are going to talk about today, they are the most important key parameters, and this concept is one of the basic concepts of astrology which any person who is judging a horoscope has to use at first. Okay, so we are going to discuss about this in more detail. So let's start this video. If you want to book a consultation for yourself, you can go on this website. The link is given in the description. So today we are going to talk about the parameters, the basic parameters, the key and most important parameters which we have to see while analyzing any horoscope. Now, why these parameters are important? There are nearly 6 or 7 of them, and these parameters are really important to see because they define the strength of any horoscope. So why I emphasize on strength is because if there is the lack of strength in the horoscope, no matter how many good combinations a person has, how many well placed planets or exalted or own sign planets a person has, and even though the person is going through very good time periods in dashas and antardashas, still the results will not be appropriate and up to expectations, and sometimes there could be no results at all. So and I have seen this because people complain most of the time that we have the same situation, even though the planetary alignments are very well according to the concepts of Jyotish, and the dasha with which we are going is also very good, is still the expected results are not there. Now, why does that happen? Because the reason is the strength of the horoscope is not appropriate. It is either very weak, or it is below average. These kind of things are there, or most of the time this is the reason. So so how we have to check the strength of overall horoscope? And by horoscope I mean only the lagna chart, only the birth chart, not the divisional charts here. One divisional chart which is given excessive importance is the D9 chart, that is the Navamsha. So you have to see it, very important, along with the birth chart. But most of the parameters which we are going to see today are applicable on the birth chart, but also you can use it on the Navamsha as well. Okay, so first of all, let's see that what are those parameters which control the overall strength of the horoscope and which help us to know that whether the horoscope is weak or strong. Obviously, if it is strong, the yugas are going to give results up to their expectations and intensity. So intensity of planets will be high. The intensity of giving results of the planets in their time periods according to the combinations which they are making, that will be high for the person if the horoscope is strong. Now, if the horoscope is weak, then what it means that no matter your planets are well placed, still the intensity of that planet is very less. Due to that, the expected results are not that much experienced in the life of the person. Okay, so this is the major reason. Now, what are those parameters? Let's see that. So first, most important parameter is moon. Moon is the most important planet in astrology among all the 9 planets. Okay, now why? The most important planet, why? Because moon is, logically also, if you assume, moon is your mind, your emotions, your feelings, your water content in the body. It defines your thinking, your behavior, your thoughts, your thinking pattern. Everything is governed by moon. Your mental health is governed by moon. Your desires controlled by moon. So here the whole mindset, the mentality of the person is governed by moon. Now you see and imagine that if a person does not have a sane mind, or he or she is experiencing some mental health issues, or there could be misdirection, a lot of confusion, or a feeling of constant depression or anxiety or any other issues, or any other problems where a person is not able to keep focus. Whether he or she is able to achieve prominent things in life easily? No, it will be very difficult. So, moon becomes the most important planet among all the 9 planets. And one more reason, moon is not only governing our mind and brain, no, but apart from that, moon is also governing the physical body structure as well, because it is the water content in the body, the blood circulation in the body. So moon is the only planet which governs the mind as well as the blood circulation. So it has prominent influence not only the brain but also your other physical body, mainly the blood circulation. So heart is also governed by moon and sun together. So in that case also, moon is becoming very important. It is the controller of kapha, element of kapha in the body. So moon has prominence not only in terms of mental health but also in terms of physical health. So just as I said, if any person is not able to cope up with the physical or mental health, or then what will happen? Obviously, the results which we expect in the life of the person in terms of career, in terms of relationships, in terms of finances or any other aspects, they are not going to be very much appropriate or good. So this you can imagine and understand with your own logic also why this is important. So first parameter is moon. Now you have to check the condition of the moon, how the moon is placed. That is really important. And one more thing, moon is the only planet which has the capability to negate any sort of positive yoga, whether it is a Raj Yoga or a Dhan Yoga or any good yogas are there. Moon is the only planet which has the capability to negate that yoga to zero, to make that yoga null and void. So this technically in Jyotish is known as Raj Bhanga Yoga. Bhanga means cancellation and Raj means cancellation of good yogas. Okay, so moon has only that capability, because all other planets, if they are making some positive yogas, they have to depend on moon's permission in order to give the results in their Mahadasha or Antardasha. If moon is not permitting them, then they cannot give any result. So that is why moon becomes the only planet to have the capability to make any powerful, strong yoga null and void in the chart. So you have to check the condition of the moon, how it is placed. So by placement, how you have to check the placement of any planet, there are certain rules for that also. So what are the rules? If you have to check the placement of any planet, whether it is well placed or badly placed, you have to see the zodiac sign in which it is placed, the Rashi. Second, the house in which it is placed, the Bhava. Then see what kind of yogas it is making, whether it is making good yogas, auspicious yogas, or negative and inauspicious yogas. What kind of yogas it is making, what kind of lordship it has, means where it is situated, in which house it is placed and which house it is controlling as the Lord. Then see the specific individual condition of that planet. By individual condition I mean how it is placed in individuality, means whether it is getting combust or not, or whether it is in Mrityu Bhag degrees, or whether it is getting Marna Karak by according to placement in certain houses, or it is getting weak according to the Shadbala. So you have to see the individual condition of that planet. Next thing, the Rashi in which it is sitting, see that whether it is getting the support from the Rashi Lord. So for example, moon is sitting in the sign of Virgo. So you have to see who is the Lord of Virgo. It is Mercury. So whether Mercury is giving it support to moon or not. Support means whether Mercury is well placed. If Mercury is well placed, then only it will give support to moon. Otherwise it cannot, because it is not himself well placed in the chart. So you have to check that as well. Okay. So and apart from this, you have to check the condition of that planet in the Navamsha chart, how it is placed in the Navamsha chart. If it is placed badly in the Navamsha chart, then again it is going to create problems. So how to check the placement of any planet, that I told you what are the rules you have to check. Okay. So first thing, the most important parameter is moon. Second parameter, second most important parameter is the Lagna and Lagna Lord. So the ascendant and ascendant Lord. So the first house and the Lord of the first house. If we talk about houses, first house is the most important house and the Lord of the first house is the most important house, which define the strength and contribute a major portion in defining the strength of the horoscope, the general strength of horoscope other than moon. Now why that is important? Because again, first house is what? First house is you yourself, your physical health, mental health, thinking, personality, your capabilities, your ideology, your mindset, your behavior, your character is defined by the first house. So first house is the most important house. Then as usual, the Lord of the first house also becomes important, because if you have to see a house, you have to see the placement of the Lord as well. If the Lord is badly placed, then the house goes down. So you have to see both the things. The Lord of the first house, that is the ascendant Lord, the Lagna Lord, and the placement of the Lagna. So how you have to check the placement of any planet, that I already told you. So you can use those same rules for the placement of the ascendant Lord, how it is situated, to check the condition of that. Next thing is that if how to see the place, the condition of the ascendant, the first house. So for that you have to check the certain things. First thing, what kind of planets are influencing the first house, whether any planets are sitting in the first house or aspecting the first house. If they are, then what kind of planets they are, whether they are good planets for the chart, whether they are malefic planets for the chart, what sort of yogas, what kind of yogas they are making, whether they are making some auspicious yogas or whether they are making some problematic negative yogas, inauspicious yogas. That depends a lot, that how the first house is going to give the results. So if it is strong and well placed, means good planets are sitting there or aspecting it, making very auspicious yogas, of course it is strong. And at the same time, the Lagna Lord also has to be favorable, it has to be well placed, then only it will become more strong. If the situation is otherwise, then of course the results will be on the downside. And also you can check that whether the first house is in the Mrityu Bhag degrees or not, means that you have to check the degrees of the ascendant. Degrees of the ascendant are falling in Mrityu Bhag or in Gandanta. If they are there, then also the problem will arise. So you have to see that how the first house is having the yogas and what kind of strength it has, and the placement of the ascendant Lord. Okay, and you can also refer to the Bhavabal. Bhavabal means strength of the house. If we translate this according to the word by word translation, it will be strength of the house. So Bhavabal is calculated as a figure, it is a number, it is a calculation. So that also signifies that how much strength a house has. So this is how you have to check. So this is the second parameter. Third parameter is the Trachoma Influence. Okay, Trachoma means Trachoma means trine. Okay, there are 4 types of trines in Jyotish. One is Dharma Trikona, Dharma trine, which consists of 1st, 5th and 9th house. Second is Artha Trikona, Artha trine, which is consisting of 2nd, 6th and 10th house. And third is Kama Trikona, that is consisted of 3rd, 7th and 11th house. And last is Moksha Trikona, Moksha trine, that consists of 4th, 8th and 12th house. So these are 4 different types of trikonas, trines, which make which also contribute to the strength of the chart, and also shows us that how what kind of inclination the person can have. So I will make a detailed video on this later on, so that you would be able to understand it in a more detailed manner. Because this is a very, very important concept in astrology, how to see trikona. So there is a sequence, means it will be variable for every person. Okay, so out of 4 trikonas, Dharma, Artha, Kam and Moksha, 4 types of trines, what sort of trines are prominent for that person? Okay, so somebody can have dharma trine very strong for him or her, or somebody can have kama trine for very strong for him or her. So you have to check that what is becoming very important, and depending on that, the inclination of that person and inclination of other planets as well, in order to give the results in life, will be dependent. So that is I will not say very complicated, but yes, it is somewhat a tedious analysis, which I think I will make a video, then you will be able to understand in a much better manner. But so far here I am just telling you that you have to check that how the lords of these planets are there, in order to see this, see the influence of which trine is becoming most important for you. So for that, of course, see the planets, how many planets are placed in each of these trines, or what is becoming prominent, depending on the planetary placement, depending on the lords of these trines, depending on the yogas, if any kind of yogas are happening in any of these trines. So that depends. Okay, so but this is a very, very important parameter after moon and lagna lord and lagna parameter. Okay, so this is the third important parameter to judge the horoscope, the influence of the trikons, the trines. Fourth parameter is Jupiter. I have reiterated many times this also in my previous videos, that Jupiter, apart from moon, Jupiter is second to moon, of course. So apart from moon, Jupiter is the second most important planet, which is really powerful in order to determine the strength of any horoscope. So why Jupiter is important, I have made a video on that. You can watch that video in the channel of in the playlist of the channel. I have mentioned it in the link as well. You can go and see there as well. Mentioned it in the description. So why Jupiter is important? What is the reason that why it is becoming the most one of the most important parameters to define the strength of any horoscope? So in that video you will be able to see and understand that what is the reason behind it. Okay, next thing, the parameter after Jupiter, the fifth parameter is Sun. So Sun is, I am telling you in sequential manner only. Okay, so if you have to check, you have to go in this sequence. So fifth parameter is Sun, how Sun is placed. So Sun controls your personality, your confidence, your ego, your ambition, your ability to do things, and have and physical strength, of course. So if you can imagine that if you don't have any energy, you have desires, moon is your desire. So for there is not only so moon becomes important because it is giving us desire, controlling our mindset, that is there. But Sun also becomes important because let's say that you have a desire but you don't have the energy to fulfill it or work for it, then what will be the problem? That again, desire is there but it is not getting fulfilled because there is no proper flow of energy in the body, or the person does not feel very what you can say, person is not going to be very hardworking. He can be living in fantasies. That can happen. Why? Because Sun is getting weak. So you have to see how Sun is placed, because it controls our personality and energy in the body. So it is the fifth important parameter after these four. Next thing is, last of them is sixth parameter is the Panchanga. Panchanga Panchanga means 5 parts. Okay, Anga means parts, Pancha means 5. So 5 parts. What 5 parts? 5 parts in Panchanga are: Var means the day on which you are born, Tithi, the lunar day in which you are born, the Karan, it is specific, calculated according to the Tithi, and Nakshatra in which you are born, and Yoga in which you are born. So these 5 things together make a Panchanga. So 5 parts. So what are the 5 parts? Var, Tithi, Karan, Nakshatra and Yoga. Now this is, I will not say that I am not going to tell you that right now that how you have to check them. I will make a separate video for that in future. But and this is the last parameter, because this is also most of the times it is utilized for seeing specific things in chart, for seeing some things in more detail, not only to judge the basic structure. For judging the basic structure, you have to see those 5 mainly, what I have told you. This last parameter is also important because it is the next step. After these basic things, the next step is to see the Panchanga. Okay, so how we have to analyze it, I will share it in future videos, but today I have told you that what makes or gives the strength in the chart of any person, what are the parameters for that. And one more thing, do not assume simply that if any planet or if any of them, the parameters which I have talked about, if any of them is debilitated, for example, this does not mean that it is ruined or it is destroyed or it is bad, so or the strength is lost. No, debilitated planet simply means that it has created some restriction in the chart, and that depends from person to person. You have to check the whole horoscope for that. So what kind of restriction it is creating, that depends, but this is important. Okay, so this does not always mean that it is negative for the person. This was the one thing which I had to share here. So these are the important parameters which I think you would have understood by now, what you have to check. And this is the preliminary step which any person, any beginner in the astrology has to do, has to follow at the first. Okay, so this was my whole view on this. I think that you would have understood better. So if you are new to my channel, subscribe below. For more, check on my website and Facebook page. Otherwise, we will meet in the next video. Till then, goodbye and thank you.